Vince here from Baseball and Whatever. Do you like baseball? Of course you do. Do you like football, hockey, and or basketball? Maybe. I don't know. If you do, Belly Up Sports Network has what you need. They have articles and podcasts on a wide variety of sports topics. So go check them out at bellyupsports.com. But not now. Wait till after the podcast is over with.
What's up, guys? We are back with episode 27 of Baseball and Whatever. I got Greg. I got Vinny. They are just as lovely as ever.
Yay.
The amount of times I listened to last week's episode, I had to put in another, wonderful thing about you guys to get you going. So we're here again, episode 27, famous 27s. The one that comes to mind is Jeremy Roenick, who I loved as a kid. He's kind of gone off the deep end. He's kind of a whack job now.
Where's he at now?
He was on NBC Sports, then he got fired for making some really appalling comments about his co-stars. So, yeah, kind of a strange dude, strange cat. But
I got Lucas Giolito. I know that's kind of the generic answer. Matt Lindstrom, which I brought up with Chris when we had on.
Okay.
And 27, Leury Garcia 1 year when he gave up 28 for the return of Jesse Crane for the White Sox.
I remember Jesse.
So he pivoted
Crane.
1 year. That's when he had to wear El Garcia because they also had Avi Garcia.
That's right.
The White Sox do that thing where
that's
there's
right.
like the first initial and then the name. That's the year there were like three Garcias.
Yeah, I remember that.
Remember that? They were like all in the
Garcia
outfield.
too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I do remember that.
I don't remember. I keep forgetting the last Garcia's name, but I mean, he's not around anymore. So I guess we can move on from that.
He's not dead, is he?
No, he hasn't.
Okay, good. All right.
He's still with us.
Okay, still with us. Okay, just making sure.
I hope he is still with us. I hope he is still with us. So,
well, for those of you tuning in for the first time, if you found us on the Belly Up Podcast Network, thank you for listening. I don't know about you guys. I've been checking our Spreaker account, and our numbers are booming. We got some new states that are listening, which is kind of exciting. So, all those folks down in Texas and Tennessee and Portland, Oregon, thank you for listening. But we are Baseball and Whatever. We are a baseball and whatever podcast. So we're
first. Yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me do my best Greg impersonation. Whatever, baseball and whatever. Was that good?
That was sexy.
That was my James Bond impersonation.
Holy cow!
Gets you going. But anyway, so we talk primarily Cubs and Sox because we're based out of Chicago in the Midwest. But we'll dive into the MLB. We talk a little bit about the NFL and the Bears and how much we can't stand Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace. So if you want to pile on that train with us, feel free. And then now that hockey season has started, these two gentlemen have allowed me to maybe dip my toe in talking about the Hawks and the NHL for a few minutes here and there. Not too much, but
we also need it because I after today I have nothing to say.
Whoa, Greg, you just hold on there, my friend. We this is going to be a fun episode because we are going to get Greg's full debriefing on the White Sox. Would you call it a collapse, or is that too harsh?
I would describe it as the scene. 00 section on Twitter put it best, I think. He put it the most simple. He had the picture of Daniel Craig in Casino Royale tied to the chair with Lashif in the knotted rope. Only had the logos mixed up. So the Astros logo was over Bond's dick, and the White Sox logo was over the rope. So I just tweeted him back. I'm like, that's what we wanted, but the logos were reversed.
I definitely haven't seen that Bond movie.
So that's what it was in the end. A good old fashioned ball whipping in a random ship somewhere in Montenegro. So
there you go. We'll let Greg debrief. We'll let him kind of give it to the Sox a little bit. We'll talk about the rest of the ALDS and NLDS, and now we're on to the NLCS and ALCS. We'll talk a little bit about the Bears. We got the Blackhawks. And then for our whatever segment, sometimes we do other sports. Sometimes we do video games. Sometimes we do movies and TV shows. But tonight we are counting down our top 5 dramatic TV shows of all time. And it was awesome to see all the feedback we got from our Facebook group, on Twitter, and a variety of other people that wrote in. So I can't wait to dive into that. I just had to make sure I had my phone with me because I have my top 5 list there. But before we get started, we always like to hear what our listeners have to say. So, Greg, take it away, man.
Our guy has returned. Glucosamine, Chondroidian, Dr. Condom on YouTube writes in, and this is a little bit of an older message, but we wanted to put in anyway. It's a bummer that Lance Lynn gave up so many runs. That's a bummer. To the Astros today. Yep. I hope the White Sox turn it on in the next 4 games. Glucose, I hope they do too. So fingers crossed, because the next 4 games are a long time from now. But you know what? It was hopeful at the time, and obviously now at the time of recording, we know what happened. So, but I was right. I was right there with you, buddy. Just too bad. But we'll get into that though.
Yeah.
Lynn on Facebook. Squid Game was pretty awesome. Is it Squid Game or Squid Games? I'm hearing
games. I believe it's games.
Okay.
More than one.
So I want to get it right. Squid Games was pretty awesome. It was an unusual premise, sad and very bloody.
Sounds right up your alley, Justin.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is screaming.
Erica still keeps telling me I need to watch the first episode, and I keep telling her no. So we'll see. I don't know.
Speaking of Erica on YouTube writes in, Scream fans pretend the third movie never happened. Did it happen?
She tried to explain this to me, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of zoned out. Yeah.
Just terrible. The movie or that it never happened.
The series, maybe in general. I don't know.
Just the movie.
Just the movie. But the fourth was good. And I've read for the fifth, there's multiple scripts and filmed multiple endings, so in case anything gets leaked, nobody will know if it's the real movie. Yeah, Spectre could probably have done that. So excited. And Skeet Ulrich had a good role in Riverdale. Never watched it.
Nope.
I was sad to see him go. Not me. Also, if you haven't seen Squid Games, you're a lame-o. Yes, sis, I am a lame-o.
Yeah.
Very lame.
So is her. So is her husband.
Yeah. Wait, have you watched it, Vinny?
No. Should this now be baseball and the lamos?
That has a nice ring to it.
Yeah, right.
Does have a nice ring to it. Justin has
disappeared.
My monitor went out. Hold on.
Right now. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, while we wait for Justin, he's back.
I'm back. Fixed it.
I had this whole Bond spiel planned out, but
this whole thing right now, using my shitty old Mac Mini from 7 years ago, is being held on with duct tape. I can tell you that right now. But keep going, Greg. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So, Mr. Tim Connors writes in. Mr. Connors is a teacher, right?
Yes.
Speech
teacher.
Take my hat off in class. Sit up straight. Got to put my best podcast voice on here for Mr. Connors. Love what you guys are doing. Was I clear, guys?
That was clear.
Mr. Connors, thank you so much. We appreciate it to the ends of the earth. That someone loves what we are doing.
Yeah.
Because we love doing it, and we have a lot of fun, and it's a good escape from our day jobs, which are lame. And
we're the lamos.
Yes,
we are.
Baseball and the lamos. Is that what it was? I like
that'll be our band name.
I was saying instead of like baseball and the Oneaters from the Wonders, it'll be baseball and the lamos. I don't know. That was a deep cut. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good movie,
I love this. I love how this is how we take each episode more off script.
This goes off the rails very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my wife did make an interesting comment. She's saying, I don't know how I sounded in the earlier episodes, but she finally says I'm starting to sound like myself.
That's good.
And I think that is a good. I don't know if that's good or bad, because I think early Greg maybe took it, I don't want to say took it more seriously, but was more
professional.
Professional. That was it, Vinny. I was more professional, and I was, courteous and attentive. And now I'm just like, then once the Tony La Russa stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that when it ended?
That was the turn. Yeah. It was all downhill from there. And so it's Tony's fault once again. It all goes back to Tony.
Tony.
Actually, that's good, though. Now you're yourself.
Now I'm myself.
Tony for that one.
We want to be ourselves. Tony. What does Vince say? Be yourself, because everyone else is taken. So
yeah. Well, that's go. Isn't that what Matt Nagy says too?
Be you.
Be you.
No.
Be you. Oh, yeah, wait. No,
sorry,
I gotta change myself now.
Got to be professional.
Yeah.
Go back
Well,
to the NPR voice.
I almost had to turn in the bond card today anyway. We won't get into that, but yeah, that's definitely not me. Anywho, those are the comments from the emails, tweets, YouTube, all of that, gentlemen.
Well
There we
done.
go.
Well done. All right, Vinny. I don't know about you, but after the Sox lost, this has been the moment that I've been waiting for all week.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yes.
Greg, forget the shit that's on the outline. I'm deleting it right now.
Oh no, don't delete it. There's good stuff there.
Oh, is there? Okay, never mind. I was gonna say, go from the heart. Tell us what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Go.
Oof. The floor is mine, huh?
The floor is yours.
When
I'm
does that
getting out
ever
of the way.
happen? All right, so I don't want to disappoint you guys here because I know you wanted. I know you wanted angry
The return
Greg.
of Ryan Braun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be here in all fairness. He's kind of far away. I don't see him down here.
That's all right.
Look here, guys. This was, and friends, audience, if you didn't watch the White Sox, if you watched the White Sox, they got their fucking ass beat. They got their ass beat. And I'm just going to preface this by this. On Twitter, you felt like, okay, this was a great season. Yes, this was a very nice season. We can learn from this. We learned from the postseason. Now we have a little more experience. Now we can take the next level next year. No, do not learn anything from this postseason. There is nothing to learn. You know what you learned from this postseason? Never play baseball like that again, ever in your entire life, because this is fundamental, exact mirroring. This is Safin looking at Bond, spoilers for No Time to Die, looking at our own reflection. This was the reflection of that, the end or the middle or the last half of the White Sox season. Which was a complete turnaround from the beginning of the season. This was pitching failing, and this was, bats not coming alive. It was just the same old story. The thing that we relied on came to fail, and there were signs of it. This team, we knew it was there. I think it finally came to realization that this team is not ready to go. I don't know what the correct answers are for this offseason. We're saying right fielder, we're saying second baseman, we're saying catcher to stay competitive. I don't know where I'm at with all that yet. So I'll say that about that. But getting back to the series, yes, an absolute beating. The Astros are the better team, and they showed it. It couldn't be more clear. Me personally, I think I knew this deep down. And I want to give Colin a shout on Two Jocks and a Schlub, because I reached out to them lately on their latest episode, and he's the one that called it. And I knew that he was right, but I was so in the mindset that anything can happen in a postseason series, and anything can. And it has happened this postseason. There have been a lot of, upsets, the Red Sox beating the Rays and all that shit. But it didn't show me more that this team was not ready to win, and they got their ass beat, plain and simple. I don't know if it was an effort thing, but it just was bad baseball play. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I don't need them, because they just looked awful for, I would say, for all four games. Now, the hitting was good in game 3, obviously, with the mashing, but the pitching was still bad in that game. Kopech was terrible. Starting pitchers barely went anywhere, guys. Yeah. I mean, the starting pitching just completely failed. And Rodon was out there going out hurt. He even tried to turn it up best he can. I'm not mad at him per se, but he just didn't. None of them got the job done. So that's where I'm at with that. To sum it up, I know I've probably went off on a million tangents here. The White Sox got their ass beat. And that's what I saw right there.
What was your Greg and Vinny too, for that matter? What was your take on the whole Ryan Tepera suggesting they're cheating, and then Dusty Baker clapping back saying, "I've never even heard of you before, so I don't."
Can we return to that? Because I'll let Vinny take the floor on that one, because he has some good comments on it.
All right, Vinny. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go. Keep going.
Go.
The last thing I want to say too is, yes, Tony had questionable managerial decisions, He's had them all season long. Many managers have them in the postseason because it's so tight knit. Now, I've been a little bit of a Tony defender the last part of the season because I think some of it was justified. I think some of it was okay. But now this is where I'm at. And I believe he will be back. So if you're going to ask me that, I believe Tony will be back. And here's why he'll be back. He was brought here to take this team to the World Series. Was that a real expectation this year? Yes. Would I had loved to have seen it? Yes. Would I be disappointed if they fell a little bit short of that? Maybe. But they fell a lot of bit short of that because they did not advance whatsoever. They ended up in the exact same spot in the postseason that they did with Rick Renteria managing, and Rick Renteria is a fucking idiot. So what to do? I know that was a wild card series. It was a series, but it's just wild card. It still was a series, and the White Sox won one game out of that. They win one game out of this series. So what the hell good is Tony La Russa then? If his sole purpose, why Jerry Reinsdorf brought him in here, was to take this team a step up or to take them to the World Series, because they just stayed level in the postseason. I'm not talking about the regular season. That's all well and done. They won 93 games or whatever with a lot of injuries. That's all well and good. But this postseason team was absolutely dead. They were dead. I don't know how much Tony La Russa is to blame for. I don't know how that's quantified. You guys might have different opinions, but that was his job. That's why Jerry brought his old wrinkly ass here, and we're in the exact same spot from slightly less wrinkly Rick Renteria's ass because he's a little younger. Plenty of wrinkles, probably hairy as fuck, but a little less wrinkly. So we're in the exact same spot, guys. And my off-season thoughts will come to fruition later as I kind of sit on this longer and analyze it and think what would be the best, ways to go. But I don't have them right now because I wanted to see progress in the postseason, and it didn't happen. I still love this team. I still think this season was a success. I believe the rebuild is in a good spot, and it got us to a point, but there was no progression in the postseason, and that is a failure.
Damn. That was good.
Yeah.
I like it. I got nothing else to say on that one. That you pretty much nailed it.
What do you think of? I mean, am I crazy, or is that
No,
just,
I don't think so. I don't think
No,
so.
I mean the bad hitting was there all season. They were just getting production out of guys they should never have gotten production out of, like Billy Hamilton and Brian Goodwin. I mean, they were winning games for late in games from heroics from them. So it was there that this could be an issue with the hitting. Now the pitching is what carried them, I think that was their major failure going into the playoffs.
Yes.
Was starting pitching just disappeared, and they
went nowhere.
That. Yeah, and they needed that. Do they get more than Giolito pitched what? 6 innings? Did he
five or six. I can't remember.
So they didn't get anybody.
Gave up a ton of walks though.
Yeah, and they didn't get what 6 innings out of anybody.
No, and you know what? I know I told you guys I thought we were going to get something a lot better out of Cease, and it was looking good there for a while. And that was the one of all the starts, which is weird. That's the one that irked me the most. And I'm not sure why, but that one was just kind of like
you had high expectations.
I did. I think that's because he was arguably our best starter. I mean, you could argue Giolito, obviously, but coming into the
second half,
so I was really, he had a great second half, and I was really pumped to see him throw his nasty stuff at the Astros, and they were better. Hats off to them. They're a very good team, and I can see him going. I mean, the postseason shrinking down, but I can definitely see him going all the way. Don't want him to, but I can definitely
by
see
no means.
So,
yeah.
So,
I mean, I'll be.
But yeah, you're absolutely right, Vinnie.
What happens next year, Greg? If say they make it to the ALCS, but they don't make it to the World Series, what do you think? Is that time to move on?
That.
You don't like that either?
That is a step forward. If they make big improvements this offseason, I know there are improvements coming. I don't know what they are. I'm still trying to gather that. It's going to be interesting. at this point today, that's not good enough for me.
Okay.
Because I think this team is closer or should be closer than just out in the ALCS. I think this is closer to a pennant winner, and then the World Series, whatever happens there.
Yeah, it's a coin flip at that point. Yeah.
That is just that. I don't think an out division series, obviously not, but going out in the ALCS at this point, I'm like, that's not good enough for me for next year.
Okay. Well, I mean,
this year would have been a different story. It maybe this year. I mean, it'd been very upsetting, but it's still, it would depend on it would have depended how they would have played in the ALCS, to be perfectly honest.
That's okay.
Guys.
I can see that.
I think that's the missing element for me. It is progress, but
that would have been progress compared to last year. So I mean, it would have been would have sat a little bit better than
it would have sat better if it was similar to if they played similarly to how they played in the DS right here. Kind of shitty.
Yeah.
And then, 1-3 out, on a wing and a prayer, and then kind of continue that in the CS. I think I agree. I think it is progress, but I think it still kind of sits with me wrong, I guess, or just kind of weird. But you're right, it is still progress, so it might have been a little easier to swallow. But like I said, it's hard for me to say because it didn't happen. So it's hard for me to kind of predict how I would feel about that.
That makes sense. What getting back to, because I'm curious what Vinny's take is, you have Tepera come out after game 3, everyone's riding high from the win, and he says, well, we're at home, we're looking good. They're doing stuff at their place that is, if you look at their split stats, and then Dusty Baker saying, I don't know who you are, shut your mouth, in so many words. And then Carlos Correa comes out. I think it was Carlos Correa after the game 4 win. Sorry. No, game 5 win, right? Game 4.
Game 4 win.
Game 4 win. Saying, oh, it's, that's indefensible. That's horrible. It's disgraceful. And it's like, dude, shut up. Like,
you're a fucking disgrace.
Yeah. And I'll be honest. I saw on Twitter, there was a couple people talking about how he's going to be a free agent and the Cubs should go after him. I know he's good. I don't want anything to do with that guy. And
really?
maybe that makes me an idiot because I'm being a meatball right now. I know that, but
I will take him.
Yeah, you'll take him.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I would hope no one interviews him. I'll take him.
As far as on the field, he's a
he's great. Don't get me wrong.
Player,
yeah. No,
the Cubs would be a much better team with him.
Yes, they would.
Yep.
They would.
But yeah, he's a dick bag.
Yes, he is. So, Vinny, what was your take on all this melodrama between Dusty and Tepera and all that?
Unnecessary. It was so stupid to come out and say that. Why? But they still put up 6 runs.
Yeah.
6 runs is still really good.
Yeah.
So what are you getting at?
And then in game 5, I mean, they put up a ton of runs at guaranteed rate.
10-1.
So, yeah.
10-1. Oh, yeah. At guaranteed rate. So what are you trying to get at? And if you actually look at the split stats, their OPS home is 787 for the Astros. OPS away, 780. Doesn't get too much close to similar. For the White Sox, their OPS at home, 789. Their OPS away, 729. So if he's splitting hairs like that, I don't know. And it came out over last offseason or 2 off seasons ago that Tony La Russa had a system in place when he was managing earlier. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say that he's doing that now. But
it would make it so much fun next season if that comes out and he was. Yeah.
It's such an unnecessary comment to make, especially when you're down. It's like the kid that everybody went to high school with in gym class. Whenever he'd lose in something, he'd always say that the other team was cheating or you're cheating. The other team was cheating. It's just a loser's mentality. It's unnecessary.
I would agree.
It's an excuse. Yes, they were busted for cheating. I hate him for it. A lot of people do. I'm assuming that they're not doing. I can't imagine Dusty Baker has some sort of technology. He's using technology. I'm sure he doesn't barely know how to use a smartphone. So I thought
a jitterbug.
Yep, I thought it was very unnecessary. Yeah, the jitterbugs on extra vibrate for everybody. But I just thought it was really unnecessary. Win the series and then make a comment if you want to. I thought all the bickering back and forth was pathetic. Dusty Baker, are you really going to say you don't know Ryan Tepera, MVP vote getter Ryan Tepera? Come on now. He's heard of Ryan Tepera. Carlos Correa, shut up. You won. Just move on. I think him and Bregman both came out, and McCullers also said something too. If you guys use that for motivation, more power to you.
Oh, it
you
had to be
have.
bulletin board material, right? I mean,
I'm sure it was, but do you really need to say it? Like, is that some rah-rah thing that you're going to carry into the next series? Because are the Red Sox saying that about you? The Red Sox got busted for.
I would say Alex Cora.
I got busted for cheating, right? So,
yep.
Yeah, they're not saying anything. So you really going to bang the trash can on that one and use that as your motivation?
You're gonna die on that hill.
Yeah. I thought it was all unnecessary and stupid. All the bickering back and forth. So yeah, that's my take on it. It's just
I think you
unnecessary.
Nailed it. I think you nailed it. Well, do we have anything else for this eulogy for the White Sox 2021 season? Anything you guys want to add before we lower the casket into the ground?
I wanted to comment on Tepera.
Okay.
Quick. His comments were out. I took them as, I don't give a fuck. You're pitching well. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was just unnecessary, pointless noise to me. And Dusty, comments back were also, to me, I'm just like, okay, Dusty, that's nice or whatever. Yeah, like that's all fine. I'm just so I was so unattentive to it because I was so locked in on trying to find the way the series is going. But yeah, I agree. I mean, the comments are, just there's nothing. There's nothing. I mean, you're basing it on okay, if you're looking at, I know they were looking at the swing and miss splits or something like that at home on the road, but what is that? I mean, what does that really tell you or whatever? And you're just basing off of previous history, which you have no proof of or whatever. On the other side of that, though, the Astros still have every reason to cheat. Yeah. Because there are no repercussions of it for the players. No. So what the fuck
everybody should be doing it.
Yeah, what the fuck do they care, Yeah. Not saying I agree with that, obviously, because that is shitheadery. But yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. And then really quick on a side note, guys, I know we're going to transition to the Cubs here. And I know I don't belong on Twitter. Twitter's not meant for me, for the troll, for the guy stirring up
Boomer.
Shit. Bond community, you already know that so well. But Cubs fans, you disappoint me once again, and you have to stop doing that because Dusty had the comments of, this atmosphere here is great. Not what do you say? I'm summing it up, but it's like it's very different from Wrigley Field. Yeah, and then you get the Cub fans. That was there in 03. That was the best atmosphere ever. Wrigley Field got nothing on Kaminsky. I'm just like, Cubs fans, please do not give the man the time of day. He's insignificant to you, and just
you got a World Series. You don't need to concern yourself with him at all.
Exactly, like you're going back to 03 to
18 years ago.
Extremely like a really fun. I don't want to admit it, but yeah, I'm sure that atmosphere must have been amazing because that series it didn't end well, but I mean, it was must watch TV. But the response is like, oh, Dusty's a fuckhead anyway. Like, oh, he's wrong. I was there. I'm like, Cubs fan, please. You're just doing
what he
wants. He's just reading the response. He's not even reading anything.
No,
he's got like a
I just assumed
phone and
after 2016, I thought this was all over, and it like these people just come out of the woodwork, and like I'm a Cubs fan. I didn't even bat an eye at that quote. I'm like, okay, cool. It's a great environment.
It's just
That's
something
awesome.
to laugh
Move on.
Yeah, and honestly, if you watched any of the highlights from the game, the atmosphere was electric there. It was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I was all
awesome.
for it.
Kane guy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There can be two. I mean, it's a postseason atmosphere, guys. I mean, it's okay, but Cubs fan, don't Don't do it. I mean, come on, don't give me. I have a guy yelled at me on Twitter because he claimed I was he claimed a bunch of things about me.
None of it was made any sense. It was just
none of it made any sense.
illiterate garbage.
Like because he said, I think he said he'd laugh if the White Sox won, and that's fine. But he's trying to say that I would laugh if the Cubs lose, which I never have done in my life. But do I make fun of the Cubs? Yes.
Sure.
It's like just as much as I take jokes of the White Sox. That's what a fun meatball fandom is for.
Right.
But then this same guy's going off about Dusty too, and I have to go back with I've made friends with him at this point. I'm like, oh come on, man. We just started having normal conversations, and here you are meatballing,
meatballing it up. Yeah.
So it's like you disappoint me again, Cub fans. Like, please stop that. Thank you.
Yeah. No, and realistically, the environment I almost said the Cell. The environment at Guaranteed Rate is very different than the environment at Wrigley, and I like both for different reasons. And I think what the Sox do for their playoff games is incredible. I think that's awesome. Yeah. And I will say this again. Am I a Sox fan? No. But do I care what they do, or am I going to rip on them for losing? No, I don't give a shit. They're in the AL Central. My team is in the NL Central. It does
not much bigger problems than the White Sox.
My team can't even get in the playoffs. So, you know what I mean? So I would be very curious. We might have to reach out to the 3-spot guys and to the 2 jocks and a schlub guys and see what it's like for the Mets and the Yankees if there's that hatred that like bubbles up when somebody gets eliminated and someone didn't make the playoffs. And I'd be very curious for other 2-team cities. If it's got to be similar, right? Like I would imagine.
I don't. Do the Yankees really care about the Mets?
No, I don't think the Yankees give 2 shits about the Mets, to be honest.
Well, I can say
most people don't care about the Mets.
I did listen to our friends at Colin, Matt, and Ethan at 2 Jocks and a Schlub, and they are very upset at the Tampa Bay Rays right now for letting the Red Sox
go.
I can see that
a little bit.
That makes sense.
That is much more fun.
Makes
and
sense.
I did shout them before I got in a million tens, but yes, Colin from 2 Jocks and a Schlubs was absolutely correct about the White Sox. I don't know if I gave him his time of day before, but yeah, he said a team that he's viewed clearly not ready. Or clearly, kind of like, just kind of like the younger team that couldn't hold up with some of these higher tiered play postseason teams, and he was right. So shout out to him for sure. But yeah, I mean, really quick on them. Yeah, they were kind of like that with the Red Sox and Rays.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they really sold it pretty well. I'm like, yeah, that's an interesting perspective. They called the Rays frauds, which I thought was really fun.
Strong. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Very
too.
Strong. Yeah, frauds for not beating the Red Sox. So wow.
Yeah.
But great episode if you haven't checked them out. But definitely listen to us first. So
there you go. Vinny, the only Cubs thing we have, I know you were going to tell us a little bit of what's going on down on the farm. You want to talk about, is it DJ Hers, I believe?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Hers chips.
Yep. I was good reference, office. Yep.
All right. Spill it there. Tell us what you got.
Yeah, starting left-handed pitcher drafted in 2019. He was not on the Cubs' top 30 in 2020. He is currently ranked 13th in the system on their top 30 for 2021 at the end of the season. And the Cubs also awarded him their major league, the minor league Pitcher of the Year award. So clearly this guy's got some talent, and he could be a big part of their future. Just on his stats for the year, let's see, he pitched in single A, high A baseball. So he pitched for Myrtle Beach and South Bend. Between both of those, he had 81.2 innings pitched. He had an ERA of 3.31. A whip of 1.053 and strikeout per 9 of 14.4 with the strikeout to walk ratio of 2.98. So for a starting pitcher, he's pretty good. The official MLB prospect report on MLB.com says, though Hers had the most electric arm in North Carolina's 2019 high school crop, questions about his signability caused him to drop in the draft. Cubs select him in the 8th round. And let's see, he's added about 5 miles per hour to his fastball since his high school, or as a high school senior, and he's touched 95. He's not projected to be a starter when he makes it to the majors. They think he's going to be a reliever. Cubs see him as a starter, though.
Okay.
And his scouting grades, and I will say that players are graded on a 20 to 80 scale. I don't know if you guys know about gradings. This is all new to me. 20 to 30 is well below average. 40 is below average. 50 is average. 60 is above average, and 70, 80 is well above average.
Mhm.
So, a future overall grade of 65 or better for a player who could develop into a future impact major league player, perhaps all-star caliber standout. So looking at his grades, his fastball's at a 60, his sliders at a 55, his curveball's at a 50, his changeup's at a 50. So this is all above average.
That's not bad. That's
No.
actually pretty good for single A A season right now. So.
Yep, and his control is 45, so that's what his big downside is control, which I feel like is with most pitchers that have a good fastball.
Yeah, but you even single A, especially lefties too. You can even see control scores lower, I think.
Yep.
So that's really interesting.
Interesting.
What's his projected MLB debut, Vinnie?
Yep,
Do they have that?
Yes, they do. And I was gonna. Yep.
Oh,
thanks.
sorry.
No, thank you. No, that's fine. Perfect segue right into that. His ETA right now is 2023. So next year is going to be be a big year to see how he progresses.
Yeah.
To see if he's going to be able to hit that deadline. But he's a guy to watch for. His overall grade though is still 45. So he's not projected right now with MLB to be something significant. Although, if he keeps on what he's doing, I don't know. He could be starting one day for the Cubs in 2023, hopefully. So
hey, upcoming
Yep.
lefty arm is always something really cool,
And it is great to see the high swing and miss rate that he's got with the 14.4 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible.
I will take that over the Alec Mills and the Kyle Hendricks swing and miss stuff.
Yeah,
non-existent.
Yeah, you got that right. All right. Well, I guess we'll move around the MLB. Brewers and Braves series ended. The Braves won.
Vinny called that one.
Yes,
I did.
Yes, he did.
Freddie Freeman just said, "Hey, get on my back. Let's go." And that's good for the Braves.
He's so good.
He is. And he's such a likable guy too.
And do you know what? Do you guys know what? He's not extended either.
That's right. He isn't. That is true.
Hey, the Cubs need a first baseman, I hear.
Yes,
so.
they do. Well, do we?
Well, if you're going to Frank the Tank, yeah. Find somewhere for Freddie.
If Freddie's on the table, Frank Swindell can play second base if they must. So.
He can be DH.
And you can give us Madrigal back while you're at it.
It's so funny. I was talking to my dad on the drive home from work the other day, and he goes, I saw the Brewers, lost their series. And I said, yeah. And I kind of took a second to explain to him about, one of their best pitchers. We still don't know the whole story about, punching the wall and breaking his hand and being out.
No one does.
No one does. And he just dead ear on the phone. He goes, what an asshole. And I go, you're not wrong. Yes. He's like, why would he do that? I said, that's a great question.
Hey, Justin, how'd your brother-in-law, the one that's not present here,
we have not discussed it. I didn't want to pour salt in the wound and all that. So
you're a podcaster, you need the scoop, Justin.
That's true. That's true. maybe I'll reach out and see. I know he's doing well. I'm thinking he's already switched over to Packers and Bucks season this year.
He's already transferred.
He's already transitioned over. Red Sox, as we talked about earlier, Red Sox upset the Rays. I guess the Red Sox are who I'm going to pull for in the AL. I guess. I don't know. And it can be the Astros. So that was kind of surprising. It's sure. I guess. Good for them, I guess. Chris Sale, I think, only pitched an inning or two the other night when he got his start. So he's still got a little room to improve. And then the Giants and Dodgers right now, top of the seventh. It is 1-1 in Game 5 of the NLDS. I would like to see the Giants win. I want to see Chris Bryant do well. I know we've talked about whether or not we want to see the former Cubs do well, but and I like that it's a bunch of older guys too. But I don't know who you guys thinking takes that series right now.
I still have the Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Yeah, I think I think the Dodgers, but I hope the Giants. I think that's where we're at. But yeah, the Dodgers probably, I would think. I don't know though. It'd be hopefully the Giants. That's all I can say.
And then probably the weirdest story, the Cardinals manager Mike Schilt is out after 4 years. He had a record like 250 and 180 or something like that. Led them on a 17-game winning streak to get them into first place first place of the wild card. I'm sorry, wild card, right?
Wild card.
And then he gets canned after 4 decent years. And the Cardinals management said it was due to a difference in philosophy. So I don't know if that means the GM was trying to tell him how to build the team, and he said no. I don't get it. I mean, I didn't like him, but I thought he was an okay manager. I don't know. What did you guys think? I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's Cardinals doing weird shit, I guess, is what that is. So,
yeah, fuck you, Cardinals. You get a guy to give you a win. How many teams would kill for a winning season?
17-game winning streak. All right. Bears 1 minute review. The Bears beat the Raiders. Bears and Packers this week. I'm going to go on a limb and say the Packers are still going to kick the tar out of the Bears. What do you guys think?
Nope.
No, you don't think so?
I think it's going to be a lot closer than you think.
So?
Oh, yeah. The Packers are hurt on defense. Their line is depleted. Their offensive line is garbage. I think it's going to be a lot closer than you think. I mean,
I hope.
Did you see the end of that Bengals game?
Yeah.
No one wanted to win that one.
No.
They were missing field goals.
Like, you take it. No,
you take 5 total or something.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. 5 in a row.
Yeah. 5 in a row. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah,
guys, I've been off the Bears for 2 weeks, guys, and that's not because I've been purposely ignoring them, but I've just been like busy on Sundays, I suppose. Yeah. So I mean, just thinking of history right here, I would say Packers, but I'm going to trust Vinnie and hope that he's right, and it's going to be closer than it is. So
did you see the end of the Bears game, Justin?
I did.
Okay. Did you see Fields ice that game? I mean, that was a nice, 3rd and long?
It was.
Made that nice. Made the pass beyond the first down marker, not short.
I didn't know you could do that, to be honest.
Right? As a Bears
in a Bears uniform.
In a Bears uniform. I thought that was like, no, we don't believe in that. You can't throw it more than 10 yards.
It's going to be very interesting to see what the game plan is that they come up with. It seemed, Fields he's not been asked to do a lot for the Bears right now. And the game script for the Raiders game, they got up and they just kept pounding the ball, which, I mean, they're trying to win right now. So it makes sense that they're going to do whatever has to be done to win. So they don't need to air it out unless they have to. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens this game, because the Packers have an offense where they can't put up the points. So Justin Fields might have to actually do a lot more. So it's going to be a lot. It's going to be very interesting to see how they open up, if they have to, and what that's going to end up looking like. But I think it's going to be a lot closer, just because the Bears defense has been playing well. They have had a pass rush. It'll be interesting to see what Mack and Quinn can do against the depleted Packers. So I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think it's going to be, Justin.
I hope not. They've been somewhat exciting to watch. Like you said, when you see Fields kind of lean back and throw one, I keep thinking I'm watching a different team, because I can't remember the last time I saw a Bears quarterback do that. So,
I don't think you ever saw it.
No. So
Jay Cutler.
Jay don't care. Smoking Jay. So I mean, I guess we'll see. We'll have to recap on that. Last thing before we go to our whatever section. I don't know if you guys saw, the NHL is now back on ESPN and it's on TNT.
Yep.
And I gotta say, the TNT show, like, you can totally tell they're trying to do the NBA on TNT, but with a bunch of white hockey players. But like, it was actually pretty good. Like, it was more comedic, I guess. Man, I'm losing my mind tonight.
There you go.
More comedic, more fun, more lighthearted. Because on NBC Sports, it was like somebody had just died. There was no fun. It was just, well, they scored a goal, and let's cut to a commercial break, and that's it. And
hey, that's pretty good, Justin.
Yeah.
Hockey announcer.
He skates it up, and that's an offside. Okay. And the best part about NHL on not Fox. Oh God, that was 25 years ago.
That's been a while.
And NHL on ESPN. The best part about it, no more Pierre Maguire. He is gone. They did not sign him.
Wow.
Interesting.
So what's he gonna do? Is he just
he got a management job, I believe, with the Pittsburgh Penguins. I believe. I can't
Did he
remember.
really?
Yeah, I don't know
Interesting.
why. He hasn't been
Oh.
an assistant GM since like 1993, and he's doing like some type of player personnel job or something.
Is
So.
this like similar to the Mike Mayock thing or whatever? You're in the booth for a while and then
Yeah,
you land,
pretty
like,
much.
not in a job that now he's not like a GM or anything, but that's interesting. I feel
That's
like
his goal. Yeah.
yeah.
He's that guy just sucks. I'm sorry. If there's nothing worse than him calling the game and wanting to tell you about where this guy played in high school and how he, got straight B's his senior year. It's like, I don't care. Call the game. Tell me what's relevant to the NHL. I don't care about Shattuck St. Mary's High School in Minnesota or Ontario. So anyway, that's my little segment.
Did they
there.
put Pierre in any of the video games? Didn't they do that?
No, they did not.
They did not.
They
okay.
specifically kept him out. I'm assuming
right.
his salary was just too high for EA Sports. So
that's what I thought.
Or he
that's nice. Well, I mean, maybe this is a new spotlight for hockey. Like you said, it's off NBC right now on TNT, ESPN. Kind of like hotter channels, I suppose, at the moment. A little bit, even if it's just better video production or better game production for intros or whatever else.
Yeah,
get hockey back on the televisions. That's awesome.
The other thing I got to sign up for it is I think ESPN Plus is like $6 a month, but you literally get like 7 or 8 games a night. Like that's their version of Game Center now. It's just like a $6 or $7 fee for ESPN, and then you're locked in. They're not doing NHL .TV anymore. So that's it. The Hawks got their asses absolutely handed to them last night, and hopefully their coach gets fired because I've had enough of him. All right,
you've had enough. You've had enough of him when he was hired.
Before he was even on
looks like a dick. Like
he does have a very punchable face.
Yes, and he's that's the
less said
better.
So I'm not as well versed in the Blackhawks as you are, Justin. I learned most of my stuff from you. Like, how hot is his seat right now, or is it hot? Is it cold?
The clock is ticking according to sports media out here, but the seat I'd say lukewarm. Is
it like Matt Nagy?
No, it's not that hot yet.
It's not
but yeah. They cut to before they cut to a commercial break, they showed Jonathan Taves on the bench, like trying to show guys what to do. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's the coach's job.
Yeah,
but no one,
right?
But his system sucks.
Wow.
Like his whole thing is like man-to-man defense, but the Hawks aren't good enough to play man-to-man, and they haven't been good enough for many years now. So you'd think adjustments would be made. But like Matt Nagy, Jeremy Culleton does not like to make adjustments.
It's because you gotta be him. You
be you.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing that shit too.
Do you think they like text each other? Like, just be you, man.
They're probably friends.
Hey, can you lose really bad
conspiracy
this weekend so the heat will come off me and go on to you, and then I'll lose the next week? That'd be great. Thanks. Okay.
And Nagy's just like, well, I'm not even calling plays anymore. I have no control of that.
I loved Matt Nagy's press conference this week. He's like, it was so great. I got to talk to the defense during the game. I'm like, just shut up. Stop saying things like this. You sound like a moron.
Talk to anybody.
Yep.
Just sit there with your card.
Just stand there with the card and don't do anything.
I would love to see, like, he's got his headset on and you find out it's not even plugged into anything. He's talking to himself.
It was like Gary Coleman in The Simpsons Christmas episode. This phone's not even plugged in.
All right. I can't. We've given too much time to Matt Nagy and Jeremy Culleton. So let's move on to our whatever section. We are going to talk our top 5 dramatic TV shows. We got a ton of people to write in, so we'll try and hit those as we mention. Who wants to start? Whose idea was this again? Vinny, this was your idea, right? You want to start us off?
I'm not sure what Vinny's idea was, first of all. I think he's trying to get me the last place vote again if voting's even happening. So
no,
we should add that to all our rankings and see.
We're ranking our top 5. Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
There is no there's going to be no voting on this.
Here.
Yeah. And you know what, Greg, you can go first.
Oh, I can go first?
A gentleman and a scholar. All right.
Oh, what a guy. Love that man over there. He's so cute.
Thanks, Greg.
Anytime. Okay, so if you guys know me, I'm not the biggest TV guy, at least currently, but I used to be, I suppose. So maybe some of mine are a little bit dated. But either way, they're still my top 5, and I'll share them with you. So number 5 for me is a show on Fox I enjoyed through high school, and I only enjoyed half of it because the last 2 seasons stunk. And it only went 4 seasons, but the first 2 seasons were unbelievable. Edge of the seat television, at least for me. That was a show starring Wentworth Miller called Prison Break.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The first 2 seasons were really good.
You weren't they?
Yep.
And then it just then they went to Sona.
It just got weird.
It was so different. So it was it was just kind of like, okay. And then season 4 hit with the more like government conspiracy, you know, grassy knoll, second shooter shit. And I was just like, nah, that ruins it. But the first season, especially towards the latter half, and then the beginning of the second season, I mean, that was like sweaty television right there. Like, edge of your seat. I mean, just incredibly acted. And Robert Knepper is Teabag. I mean, how that guy played the role, especially for being such like a normal human being off the screen, just a complete believable creep, scumbag in the show. But just it was a show that even I rewatched several times, at least those first 2 seasons, and it just got me every single time. Even though when I knew the outcome, you know, the second or third viewing, it was just
that's when you know it's good show.
Oh yeah, it was just I love it, still love it to this day. So
good pick. I know Erica loves that show. She's tried to get me to watch it, and I have not watched it yet. So
just watch the first 2 seasons and then stop.
First 2 seasons, you're set. You're set.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair enough. Vinny, you want to go next?
Sure. My number 5. Boy, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, but Desperate Housewives.
Ooh, wow. I would not have expected that.
Nope. And I've gotten crap from everybody that I say that I like that show. And then, both of your wives made fun of me for years.
That doesn't surprise me.
Years. And then they watched it they liked it.
Oh, I was going to say my wife.
I didn't know that Erica watched that show.
I'm pretty sure she did. Maybe she didn't, but I know Ashley did. And she was probably one of the biggest people.
Though. Yeah.
She was probably one of the bigger people to make fun of me for watching that show. It was it was a drama show, and it did, it starred 4 or 5 women. I can't remember now. It's been a while since I finished
Terry
the
Hatcher,
show.
Evil
Terry Hatcher, yeah.
It was, and then whatchamacallit, the dermatologist from Seinfeld.
Yes,
she was also in it. Yeah.
Yep.
And then sorry, Vinny, I'm interrupting.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But
Felicity Huffman. That was the other one, right? Yeah.
Yep. It was just a good show. There was a lot of mystery and drama, and there was humor involved. Most of my shows on this list have some sort of humor to them, because if it was wouldn't like it, but it was just a good all around show about life in suburbia, and not life in suburbia. Yeah, it was just a good show, good from the beginning to the end. It was I liked it. So 5.
Excellent. All right. I got 2 honorable mentions before I get to my number 5. My mentions, are Fargo and the season with Chris Rock last season was really, really good. I really liked that. And Rescue Me, I love Dennis Leary. Sean also wrote in and said Rescue Me was one of his favorites. I never really got into the first couple seasons of it. I jumped on more at the end, the last probably 2 or 3 seasons, but great show. My number 5, and I don't know if anyone actually has watched this besides me, because it was only 4 seasons and it was on AMC, and that is Halt and Catch Fire. Have you guys ever heard of Halt and Catch Fire?
I've never heard of it.
It's out. The whole series is on Netflix. It's actually really good. So it's a tech computer drama. It starts in like the late 70s, early 80s, when personal computers were starting to be built, and it's a bunch of guys trying to build the first computer.
Okay.
And then it goes on to like the next season is them like trying to compete with like an Apple competitor. And then the next season is them trying to build a video game because the Nintendo is coming out. And then the last season is kind of everything coming together. And that's it. It's really good.
You've talked about this before, Justin. Yes. Yeah. Now this is coming back to memory.
Great theme song too. Really good show. Little strange at times, but really good, and especially for all the computer stuff and that I'm into. I dug it. So that is my number 5, Halt and Catch Fire.
Awesome.
There you go. All right, Craig.
So this one, maybe most haven't heard of either, and another one I enjoyed at a young age. And that's the HBO series From the Earth to the Moon in the
Oh,
90s.
wow.
And
I remember that. Yeah.
yes, and that was kind of it was Tom Hanks, Ron Howard produced, and that was kind of what they did after Apollo 13. And Apollo 13 had a huge influence on me as a kid. I thought it was just a fantastic movie. Still think it's a fantastic movie. And I kind of got in, I was in that phase a little bit when I was like all into like the astronauts and NASA a little bit. So at least like the history of it and kind of like the space race and all that stuff. And that series kind of clarified things for me. And it was really well done if you kind of look up the history of the space program and everything. I think they did a pretty good job staying true. Yeah. I mean, obviously you have to make it a series and everything, but some of those episodes, I mean, they're essentially trying to do the same thing in a lot of them, but they each tell like a different story of like that particular astronaut crew, or they focus on a particular thing, like how Apollo 15 had to learn geology like in a couple months because there was just so much pressure. And they do the Apollo 13 episode, but it's not like the danger. It's more like how the press reacted to it and how news was covered at the time versus the sensationalism reported fact, which is like kind of like the story nowadays with social media and everything. And just a lot of tangents like that. Obviously Apollo 1 being the big episode is one of the most tragic events in US history. But yeah, just a lot of variety, a lot of fun, and really well acted. A lot of familiar faces. Bryan Cranston was in it. He played Buzz Aldrin.
Wow. Oh God, I don't.
And a lot of them,
I don't either.
A lot of them were still relatively unknown at the time. Even Coach O'Reilly himself is in it. Lane Smith, he plays the reporter in several of the episodes.
Wow.
And just a lot of Ted Levine, bunch of other names. So a great series. I own it, and I'll return to it every once and again just for like blast from the past.
I might need is that on DVD or Blu-ray, Greg?
It might be. I have it on. I know it's on Blu-ray. I have it on DVD. It might be on HBO Max. Possibly.
That is something that I remember watching that in like maybe what would that have been, like third or fourth or fifth grade?
Yeah,
maybe? And I remember being hooked.
It's from the 90s.
Yeah, because I remember like we had HBO, and I remember always sitting down watching that with my parents at night.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. So that's a great pick.
I think I had it on. I think I had it. I couldn't watch it at my house because we didn't have cable, but I watched, like repeats of it. So everything was kind of like out of order. But when I finally got the DVD set, or was it even VHS at the time, I had watched them in order and finally got the full thing. And great music in it too. I mean, the intro is, it's one I never fast forward to because it's so beautifully done. So
nice.
Very cool. All right, Vinny, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a couple honorable mentions here.
Okay.
Kind of with the whole Tom Hanks starring in a movie and then coming out with the series on HBO. I'm gonna say Band of Brothers is an honorable mention. I know, was that my dad?
Your dad said the same thing.
Yep. That's such a great thing, and the theme song for that is fantastic. But my number 4 on the list is The Sopranos. That is it's such a great series, beginning to end. Again, in completeness. I know a lot of people didn't like how it ended. I thought it was great. I know Chris Tannehill on the score is a big
fan.
And he actually spoiled the ending before my wife and I were watching it because she likes the show too. And we were getting close to the end of the season, and they started talking about it on the score, and he ruined the ending for me. But also put it in a good perspective that the ending was done. Have you guys seen it?
I have. I know everything you're talking about.
Okay.
This is one series that I haven't gotten to yet.
Spoiler alert, Tony. The series just goes blank. It doesn't really give any kind of ending. It shows them in a diner, and the way it was described, or one of the producers, I believe, said that kind of did a flashback that in one of the previous episodes they were describing a hit and what a hit's like, and they say you don't see it coming, and that's kind of how that ended, where you don't see it coming, and it just ended. And I thought that was a perfect way to do it. I love the way it ended with that aspect in mind, and it was just a great show from beginning to end. Very solid cast throughout. So, yep, that made my number 4.
I need to give that a look. I've never actually seen that.
It's a series that I always thought would be my favorite thing ever. I just gotta get my ass. It's on Prime. Yeah, yep. I just gotta get my ass to watch it. But yeah, I hear the exact same things and everything you said. I don't know why I did this, but I actually watched the ending because I listened to Chris Tannehill talk about it. So I was like, it's a series I've always been curious about, and I saw it and just like, oh, that is interesting. So I can get it. So that's cool what you said about perspective. So definitely
nice. All right, let me read a couple. Zach wrote in. Zach said Boardwalk Empire, and so did your dad, Vince. I know he's talked to me about that quite a bit, and that's another one I've been meaning to look at. Zach also said Peaky Blinders, which I've heard of. I think that's a British show, if I'm not mistaken. And the Americans.
Yeah, I heard that's good. Yeah.
The Americans, I tried really hard to get into because Cold War, I thought I would like it. I watched like a few episodes and I'm like, this is decent. But then anytime it was like, all right, should we watch this again? It was like, let's see what else is on. And that I just kind of tailed off. But I can definitely see why people liked it. And then one that Zach did recommend that I have never seen, but it sounds amazing, is Manhattan. And it takes place in New Mexico when they're building the atomic bomb during the Manhattan Project. So
interesting.
Ooh, I might have to give that a look. But my number 4, and my wife also wrote in with this, is her number 4. X-Files, good old Fox and Mulder.
Good one.
Yep.
Good one.
I will admit, I am Mr. Sci-Fi, but somehow I totally missed that whole arc. I've never watched the X-Files up until about 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
I know. I don't know. So we made it through on Hulu, probably the first 6 or 7 seasons. And then once Doggett came in, it was still good, but I kind of just trailed off and I didn't.
T-1000.
Yeah, like I kind of lost a little bit interest, so I haven't finished the series. But overall, the sci-fi vibe, I loved most of the episodes that are just all one-offs. There's not as much of an overarching story, but yeah,
that was on my honorable mentions. That was a good one. I think it was David Duchovny's last season. I thought was like their strongest one. They were really hitting their stride, and then he left.
Yeah, that's where I was at.
But the John Doggett era isn't that bad.
No, it's not.
I remember because Erica was really into it.
Yeah.
So I used to. It was like on every Sunday, so I'd always watch it. And I remember as a kid, I was like, "Oh, this isn't as good. This is awful." And then my wife and I rewatched the whole series, and it was like, "Oh, this it was pretty good. I do like Doggett. It wasn't that bad. Yeah. And I actually liked him as a character.
Yeah.
He was actually pretty good.
He was. I liked him very much. I also didn't mind Monica Reyes that much. And I thought she definitely one of a weaker point, but I thought she was just fine. I think it's not Mulder and Scully.
No.
Let's face it. But I thought it worked. I thought it was okay.
Yep.
So.
And I know I did buy Erica the Blu-ray sets of the last 2 seasons when they came back, but I have not heard anything about those. We have not watched those yet, so we'll see. All right, Greg, you're up. What do you got for number 3?
I'll do an honorable mention quick. X-Files was definitely there for me too, guys. But Erica and Aaron also mentioned this one, and that was 24.
Oh yeah,
another Fox series that I was really into. Another more edge of your seat stuff. Jack Bauer and his adventures. I think season 4 or 5 would have been my favorite when they had Dennis Haysbert and all that stuff going on. It ended how it ended. It's up to your interpretation. I thought it was solid. I fell off a little bit towards the end, but some of its core prime seasons were must-watch TV on Fox right there. So
nice.
Number 3 for me is breaking the rules a little bit right here because I'm going more of
there are no rules anymore.
A little more of a mini series. It's probably not breaking the rules, but I'm gonna go with American Crime Story: The People versus O.J. Simpson.
Ooh,
I thought that series was fantastic, and it's something we all know about O.J. We were very young when he was acquitted, when his trial was going on. We all know what happened, how some of it went down. For me, this series as an adult put kind of clarified things, how much of it was sensationalized or not, but it kind of broke down like every single part of the process of his long trial.
Yeah.
And then it just made it so entertaining for me. The acting is that in that series is like top notch for me. Was Sarah Paulson and Courtney B. Vance as Johnny Cochran, even John Travolta, even some of the really supporting characters. I didn't really want to give it to Rob Kardashian or David Schwimmer as him. I thought that was a little, but I feel like that could have been accurate. But yeah, I think that series was just something I haven't enjoyed that much in a long time. So
nice.
And just very interesting. I learned a lot from that series. I thought I knew, I knew the basics, obviously. I watched the series and it actually made me go back and read. It got me to read something.
Oh my gosh.
A lot more.
It
sparked my curiosity about a
big
lot.
impact there.
And it was, I thought it was fantastic. And I've actually watched it one time, was plenty satisfying. I had to watch it again because I thought it was that
I need to check that out, because I know I'm a couple of years older than you guys, but as being like a third grader, second grader, I was way too interested in the OJ trial. Like I remember sitting down after school and watching it on court TV. Probably shouldn't have. I knew who Judge Ito was. I knew who Marcia Clark was. I knew who Johnny Cochran was. Yep. Third grader probably shouldn't know that, but I was really curious, and that was crazy. I remember watching the chase too. I think I was in like first grade when the chase actually took place. So, but I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds like an awesome pick, Greg.
Nice,
very cool. Vinny, what do you got for number 3?
I'm going to run through a couple honorable mentions.
Sure.
Yep, I have Bosch, and I know my dad and your mom had that.
Love that. Yeah.
Great series. I think the last season's out now.
Yes, it is.
So I have to finish that up.
Oh, it's so good.
And also the Blacklist. I believe my mom and Marie had that. But that's another great one with Dave Spader. Or James Spader, sorry, not Dave.
James Spader.
Yeah, David Spade and James Spader mixed together. But yeah, James Spader's fantastic, and I know I mentioned that on the Office draft podcast about his character.
That was the one that Greg came in last, right? Was that podcast? Okay, just make sure. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, and I still read your comments. Be thankful, people.
Wow. But yeah, that's another fantastic show. If you haven't watched that, I recommend doing that. That show's still going on. But my number 3 is Better Call Saul. That is a great show. It's still not over with, and I'm
it's not? Oh, I had no idea.
Thanks, Greg. But yeah, so far, I mean, Saul was one of the better characters, probably one of the best you could make for the best characters in Breaking Bad. His spinoff has been fantastic so far. I can't wait to see how it ends. I hope it doesn't disappoint. I can't imagine it will. Breaking Bad didn't. So yeah, Better Call Saul, my number 3.
Nice, great
Good
pick.
call.
Very good pick. All right, I'll read a couple here. We got a couple wrote in from some of our podcast brothers and sisters on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network that wrote in. Only Murders in the Building from the Main Event Marks podcast. I agree. We are on episode 9 of that. I think the last episode is next week. Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez. Really, really good. Also, Holly Flax is in it also, just so you guys know. So her awesome role in the office.
Your HR.
My HR rep, yeah. They also suggested Supernatural, which I've heard a bunch of things about. I have never watched it, but I know it's like, it's going on like 20
seasons. It's like 20 seasons almost.
Oh, really?
It's like getting on Simpsons territory.
And then the other ones that the guys over at High Low Sports Podcast, they said Ted Lasso, which I know I gotta get in on that. I heard
that's really good.
Heard that's really good. Vinny, they also said you were very smart for your love for The Boys. They said you were a smart man. So there you go. They also said the original Heroes, which that's going back a ways.
I forgot.
I watched that one.
I did too.
Yeah, that was. I watched like the first 2 seasons. That was.
I never got into that. And then they also said the Tomorrow People, which I have not watched, but I've heard good things about that as well. All right, my number 3 though. This was another one. I'd say in the last 3 or 4 years. Amazon Prime, Giovanni Ribisi, and that is Sneaky Pete. Have you guys seen Sneaky Pete?
I've not seen it.
I think I saw like the first episode.
Okay.
Bryan Cranston's in that, isn't he?
Yes, first season he is, yes.
Yep. And just never got into it.
Oh, it gets so good. So the whole premise, if for those that don't know that are listening, he is a con man that's in jail. His cellmate is, going to be put away for a long time, and his cellmate's always talking about his family and how his grandparents would take care of him when he was little, and they haven't seen him in 25 years because his kind of a broken home situation. His mom left the family, took the kid with her. So when Giovanni Ribisi's character gets out, he's a con man. He goes and finds this family and pretends to be his cellmate, and then gets in with the family and starts doing jobs and stuff like that. So really good. And then you find out the family's got a little bit of some skeletons in their closet as well. So highly recommend that on Amazon Prime if you're looking for something to watch. That would be my number 3.
Nice.
Greg, what's your number 2? We're getting down to the end here.
We are, and I'll shout out the wife on a couple of her favorites right. Even though she didn't write them down for these particular shows. I know she loves them.
Okay.
Along with Chris and Lynn, that is A Million Little Things.
Yes.
Not my cup of tea, but I heard it's really great for whose cup of tea that show is. If that makes any sense.
Sure.
Also, Robin and Lynn. And my wife loved This Is Us. Just already highlighting.
Oh, yeah.
He knows
I hear all about that one. Yep.
Also, I heard is a very powerful show. Sterling K. Brown's a fantastic actor. Again,
yes, I like him as an actor.
But a fantastic actor nonetheless. Erica and Ashley, she wrote in for this one, How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh, God.
I've
tried.
Not yours. Not your
I've
thing.
tried. She wants me to watch that so bad, and every time, like, I'll be coming down to work out when she's on the treadmill watching it, and it's just people killing each other and sleeping with each other. Like that's the whole premise of the show, right? Like that's it. It's just murder and sex. Like there's nothing else. I'm like, oh, those two people are hooking up. Okay, well, someone's gonna be dead now by the end of this episode. Like that's all I've gotten out of it. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to watch this.
I know I catch flack for this, but I always describe those shows as people with fake problems.
Yes.
Or problems they just create for themselves that could easily be avoided.
I think you're right.
That's just me though. And Ashley and Chris mentioned my number 2 on this list, and that is Breaking Bad.
I still got to watch that. I never watched it.
It starts off. It's a grower because the first season it can be hit or miss with some people.
It's very depressing.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I came away
exactly
with from the pilot. Yeah,
and then it just turns up the fucking volume, and it just goes, and it is. I can't imagine, and I don't want to say I feel bad, but I feel bad for the people that, because I streamed that show. So when a season ended, I was sitting waiting for the next one. If I had to watch that, waiting a whole year, however,
oh my gosh,
like
be a nightmare.
Holy shit! Like
that would have been awful.
What happens? I'd lose my mind. Bryan Cranston just completely, fooled the world, because even before I saw this show, him winning Emmy Awards, I'm like, Hal? I love him as Hal. I don't buy it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't compare that at all.
Boy, was I wrong about that. What the acting
everybody
ability,
was.
The acting ability of this man is second. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. And it is just one of the arguably the best written show I've ever watched. And I know it's my number 2 on the list.
That is high praise.
I put it at number 2. I won't do spoilers here for you, Justin. The last season had unbelievably high points for me. It also had some stuff on the lower end, which I didn't care for.
Okay.
Again, that's just me personally. But overall in the series, as a whole, unbelievable television, unforgettable television. So
nice. All right, sweet. Well, maybe while I'm trying to feed the baby and stuff, I'll open up my I think it's on Netflix, right? I don't know.
Yes.
What's it on?
Yes,
now?
it is on Netflix.
I'll start watching it. I did watch the pilot, and like you said, it was so depressing. I'm like, oh God,
you just have to just power through it. Just know that it's gonna just take off like a jet.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, Vinny, you're number 2.
I'm gonna first do a couple honorable mentions here.
Sure.
Chris and Melissa both had Dexter.
Okay.
That's a good show.
That started off very good. It ended awful.
It
got really weird.
After John Lithgow's season, like I was too creeped out. I couldn't watch it anymore. Melissa also says that I have Dexter's mannerisms. So I don't know what that says about me.
Oh,
I don't know.
What does that say about you?
You're not.
I'm not a serial killer. No. But
You
like
don't
when
like blood?
no, I don't like blood. But even like when I played,
Or does he pretend not to like blood?
Yeah, right.
What's going on
But even
there?
like when I was on the 16,
I'm
softball,
glad I'm over here now.
Yeah.
you stay over there.
Yeah.
When I played 16 softball with them, that was my nickname that they would call me while I was batting was Dexter.
There you go.
So I don't know, but yeah,
Dex.
good show, but kind of fell off after that season with John Lithgow. And nothing against him; he did a great job. It was just too creepy.
Yeah.
For me,
Yep. And then Ozark as well. I had as an honorable mention.
I heard
had
that's
that
really
on there.
good.
I've heard that's
It's
good
really
too.
good. I haven't caught up on that. Yeah, it's definitely an involved, and it kind of like reminds me of Breaking Bad a little bit. With just like the situations that happen, and it's like, okay, how are they going to get out of this one now?
Right.
But again, that one's still ongoing. But that's an honorable mention for me. So my number 2 is we've already talked about this one, The Boys. That is my number 2. Absolutely fantastic show. I can't wait to see what they do for season 3. I've talked about this already on this podcast already. It's superhero movie or show series for adults. It's an anti-superhero series, and that's what I love about it. It's loosely based on the Justice League characters, and yeah, watch it, please. If you haven't watched it, just watch it. It's fantastic.
It's on my list.
It's got great humor in it. It's it's edgy.
It's dark, isn't it? Right.
It is. It's very dark at times, and then with the darkness, they also add humor to it. So you're laughing at it and you're just like, probably shouldn't be laughing at this. But it's a fantastic show. I highly recommend it. They're coming out with next season. They're going to have a character loosely based on Captain America. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to be, because if it's anything like any of the other characters, the guy's going to be twisted and
appalling.
And the complete opposite of Captain America. So
awesome.
Number 2, The Boys.
Very cool. All right, I'm going to run through a few more before we get to our number ones. Chris, our guy Chris, if you want to check out a good podcast about what it's like to work for an organization in the MLB, check that one out with Chris. He wrote in and said Billions, which I've heard great things about but have not seen. He also said Weeds, which I know Erica, I believe, maybe I'm thinking of another one, but I've heard that's really good as well. He mentioned Entourage, which I have caught a few seasons of Entourage. I kind of got into it when it was first starting. I really liked it, and then kind of fell off. Never saw the movie though, but I've heard decent things about the ending. Shameless, I know, is on Netflix, and I've had numerous people tell me to watch that. I believe, is it William H. Macy's in that?
Yep.
Have not seen that, but I've heard good mentioned was Ray Donovan with Liev Schreiber, which I've heard is really good. I think Liev Schreiber plays like a fixer or something, maybe, I want to say, and he's trying to, take care of people's problems that, people that need killing.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
So
people that need some of the killing.
Need some of that killing and stabbing. But my number 2.
Oh man, now I'm kind of scared.
Yeah.
Hey,
Dexter.
Don't piss me off. No, I'm kidding. No, my number 2 in both my mom and Vinny, your dad, wrote in about this, and then my number 2 is Bosch. We binge watched that show the first 6 seasons, and then we finally got caught up. I believe the 7th season was the final season, or maybe it was the 6th season was the final season. We finished that up. And it's so funny how we got caught on that. My grandfather told my parents to watch it, and my parents watched it and loved it. And my dad was like, you got to watch this. You got to watch this. And I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. And I was hooked. And I watched 1 or 2 episodes, and I'm like, Erica, you need to watch this. And then she was hooked. So we literally watched the whole thing. Super excited for the spinoff that's going to be on IMDb's free streaming service. I don't know if it's going to be as good, but the fact that it's got the main guy that plays Bosch, that character is just awesome. And I've been meaning to go back and read some of the books that whole series is based on. I have not done that yet, but if you are looking for a good procedural crime drama, that is awesome. Excellent show. Really, really good. Every season's a different case, and it just, it gets you going. So that is my number 2, Bosch.
Nice.
Very
right,
solid.
Craig.
We
Greg's
have
number
the ones
1
right here.
Yep.
We are at the number.
Shall I read off some other?
Let's
shows
try and
right
knock those
here?
out.
Shelby writes in Madam Secretary. That's Taya Leone.
Right.
Mrs. Fox Mulder at one point, I think.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
The West Wing. Steve and
Ev.
Ev.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I've heard good things about that one as well. I never watched it though.
This one I'm about to read is probably the closest thing I'd ever want to do with the Royals, because I think the Royals are just like
Awful.
who gives
Yeah.
a shit, It's like,
Still don't understand
if
that
you're
one.
gonna if you're gonna give me the Brits, you know what I'm taking.
And especially
But,
as a history teacher, they have no power in Great Britain. Yet people
they're just head of state. They have no say in the
no.
the
They're
government.
they're like the Kardashians of England. That's all they are.
Pretty much, yeah. It's pretty.
Yeah. So,
but The Crown.
yes,
The Crown. I heard that was an extremely well done show, and I'm curious about it. I don't know if I'll ever make it or get myself to watch it. But if I'm going to do Royals, it's just going to be The Crown, and that's going to be it, because I heard it was really good.
There you go.
So,
nice.
Law and Order SVU, Chris from Best of the Rest podcast, and Lynn also likes Law and Order SVU.
There you go.
And I'll read one more from Robin and Lynn. New Amsterdam, which is still going on, and I see previews for it all the time.
Yeah, so do I.
And
I've never watched it.
That's a medical drama.
I believe so. Yeah.
Never watched it. Heard nothing about it. That wasn't paying attention. So I'm sorry. I believe you if it's good. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it.
There you go.
My number one. Drum roll. Vince Gilligan takes the top 2 spots right here, folks. Better Call Saul is arguably it's not my favorite television show of all time. It's definitely my favorite TV drama of all time, but it's high on the list. For me, and I know people say, okay, so Breaking Bad is definitely better. Yes, there is a definite argument for that. I see everything that you have to say about it. I would tend to agree with you like most of the time, but for me, Better Call Saul just hits it out of the park for me, because it takes the beloved characters of Breaking Bad and it just tells the prequel. We have a prequel that works maybe better than the thing that set it up. I mean, it just has the spirit of Breaking Bad right in there with the same characters. It takes Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill, and you learn how he became one of the most.
Oh no.
Oh, we lost Greg.
It's a mid-sentence.
Whoever's thinking Breaking Bad is better than Better Call Saul is like pulling his cord right now on his internet.
That might have been me.
This makes me think like I almost want to jump into Better Call Saul, but I need to watch Breaking Bad first, right, Vinny?
No, you could start with Better Call Saul.
Really? Okay.
You wouldn't recognize some of the characters that they may mention or that may show up at certain points, but I think it would set it up, and I don't think it would necessarily ruin it. And I would love to hear Greg's take on that as he's trying to get back in here.
Oh man! So I know, guys. I know you agree with me. The greatest show ever made. Obviously, I could hear you. I could kind of hear you guys before I cut out right there.
Justin asked a good question that I would curious on your take. He said, "Could he watch Better Call Saul first and then watch Breaking Bad?" I said that he could. I don't think it gives. I haven't finished it yet, but I don't think it's going to give anything. It wouldn't give. I mean, it would set up. You would know who later characters are, but I don't think it gives anything away.
I think you definitely can. I don't think the same appreciation is there. I don't think it hits home as hard. And what I love about Better Call Saul more is that it takes the supporting characters that I love in Breaking Bad, and it tells their story. It tells the story of like almost each of them, especially with Mike is a good example of that too. And I think that I think I just like it better, and I love them both. But I think for me, Breaking Bad kind of leveled out there at the moment. But it ended great. But with Better Call Saul, it's still on the rise for me, at least at this point. Haven't seen the last season. I know you talked about before, but hopefully it blows us away. You know, shows have the tendency to have the piss out finale. Yep. There's nothing with the trends of this show. There's nothing telling me that's going to happen, but it's kind of like we'll see. So at this moment, Better Call Saul for me is my favorite television drama, and I cannot
Awesome.
wait for the final season, and I can't recommend you watch it. And Vinny, you got to finish it, even though I know it's not on Netflix, those bastards.
Yep.
But there's got to be a way. We will find a way.
Yes.
We will find a way.
I like it.
Nice.
I like it. All right. Very cool. Good solid top 2 there, Greg.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're welcome. All right, Vinny.
I'm going to run through some
The last few ones we got.
I'll let you do that. I'm going to just run through some honorable mentions on my list.
Sure.
The show Monk. Have either of you seen that?
Yes,
Monk's
I have.
a really
yes,
good
I have.
show.
Good
I was going to
show.
say, Justin,
Really good
you should,
show.
if you haven't, you should
He is
watch
me.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, I was going to say it would make you feel better about yourself.
That too. No, I have seen it. It's a good show.
Sherlock. That was another.
Heard
I heard
things.
that. I heard
Yep.
that's great.
Watch that. It's the last season really stunk. So I didn't make my list, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But the first, I think it was. The weird thing was, I think it was only 4 seasons long, and there was like a hiatus because both of I can know their names are
Benedict Cumberbatch.
yep,
Lucy
and no, what?
Is it Lucy Liu and Benedict
No,
Cumberbatch?
no, Benedict Cumberbatch and the guy who played Frodo or
What am I thinking? I'm
Bilbo
thinking-
Baggins.
Oh, I'm thinking of something. I don't know what I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
and he was also in the Marvel movies too. He was in
Martin
Black
Freeman.
Panther. Yes, Martin Freeman. I always want to say Martin Short.
You're thinking of the show Elementary.
That's
Justin.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not that
Okay.
one. I don't know what that one is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But those two, and they got famous during the production of this. So there was like a delay because they were both in movies, and so
Mhm.
the last season stunk. But it is fantastic. The first couple seasons, I think the first 3 seasons were really good. And then they kind of had to end it because they both got into movie acting.
Movies,
and so
yeah.
this-
They're getting into
series.
Marvel. Marvel
Yep.
takes them all.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Mindhunter on Netflix, they only had 2 seasons. That's not coming back. That was good. That was loosely based on documentaries of serial killers. So, Justin, you might really like that one.
Oh, right up my alley. Keep me up at night.
Downton Abbey, Stranger Things, and Lost were also on my honorable mentions. So,
Oh, yeah.
but my number 1 is Greg's number 2, and that is Breaking Bad. I named my dog after the main character because I love that character so
Oh, God.
much.
I never realized that, Vinny.
Yep. And yeah, I like you said, Greg, it was a well-written show from beginning to end. I didn't necessarily notice the lulls in it that you did. But again, it's been 5 years since I think I've finished watching it. I haven't gone back and rewatched it yet, but it was just one of those things, and I did benefit from streaming to be able to just jump right into the next episode. I think, having to wait for the next episode to come out on TV would have been painful to sit through in this series. But it, again, really one of the best written shows, I think, from beginning to end I've ever seen. Yeah, and all the characters in it, from Walter White to Jesse to Gus, they were all they're just great through and through. And the drama that it ended in that last season, the Quentin Tarantino style, pretty much on that. That last season was just great. You didn't see some of the stuff happen, coming up. It again, just well written. If you haven't seen it, check it out, Justin. You need to just power through the first season. I think I told Erica that numerous times. Just power through the first season, and you'll like it. Just you have to get through the first season, because at the end of the season, it starts setting it up with kind of. They kind of just build on some of that drama that they created at the end of the first season. But the first couple episodes are really just downers, but it kind of just sets up
how it's going to go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, I will add that to the list. For sure, actually. All right. Well, that's a great, man. I see between you guys building up Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, I really got to get going on that. So, last few responses we have. Chicago Fire from Chris and Robin. I know the Chicago series has really caught on. Chicago PD and Chicago Med. Robin also wrote in. I know my mom and dad watch that every week. They are hooked. The Rookie, Lynn wrote in, and 911, which I know I've seen promos for on like Fox after baseball games, but I have not watched.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, a couple other honorable mentions. like Vinny said, Stranger Things. I'm excited. I love the 80s vibe.
Yep.
Give me all that. And then the other one that I really liked that Erica got me hooked on was Umbrella Academy. I don't know if you guys watched Umbrella Academy.
Heard of it? Yeah.
That was
I've
really
heard of
good.
it.
It's actually written, I want to say, by the lead singer of what's the band that sings the Black Parade? I can't remember the name.
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance.
Gerard Way.
Yes, it's the
Gerard
lead singer
Way.
from that. Yep, that's
Yeah.
it. He wrote this comic and then they turned it into a TV show on Netflix. Really good action. Second season was all about them being trapped right around the time of the Kennedy assassination in the 60s. Really good. Highly recommend it. And Vinny, I think I also have to agree, when Lost was popular, I was all in on Lost. Those first 3 seasons are some of the best TV ever. And then it just went way off the rails. Like the sideways, the flash sideways and the flash forwards. And I still watch the whole thing and I like the finale, but all right. My number one, this is because I got really into this show in high school, and that is the original, the classic Law and Order, just Law and Order.
All right. There we go.
You give me Law and Order, like seasons like 7 to like 18, I will sit and watch any marathon of those. You give me some Lenny Briscoe, Detective Lenny Briscoe, and Benjamin Bratt, and S. Epitha Parker is the lieutenant. Oh man, such a good show. So, and what's funny is I got into that because I took a law studies class in high school. And on Fridays, our teacher would bring in Law and Order and we would watch it and then dissect the case and all that stuff. So it was a lot of fun. For a while, I wanted to be a lawyer. I would not have done good as a lawyer. I can tell you that much right now. Too much pressure for sure.
Well,
constant sweating.
Constant sweating. Yeah.
Law and Order, I've seen like in so many, like an episode here, an episode there, but everything you watch of the original Law and Order,
the original, that's the only one I watch.
The original, the original is just so so amazing. I know there's like 50 different
SVU
Law and Orders
and Criminal
now.
Intent.
Yeah.
I've never watched any of those, and I love too, especially the older ones from like late 90s, early 2000s. There are so many famous people that were in episodes. Like there's an episode with Mac and Charlie from It's Always Sunny. And they play like just like these goony teenagers like trying to sell drugs and stuff. So so good. So I will every day I come home and I look to see. I have a couple of the box sets of some of the seasons too. So if you guys ever want to borrow them, you know where to find me. So
all right.
Well, dang, that concludes our show. Thank you for listening, everybody. Vinny, you got anything you want to plug or share before we wrap up?
I don't. I have nothing. Yep. Man, a few words.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Greg, what about you?
I think I got all the words out.
You got all the words
earlier, and I had a lot of fun making this
good
list, and it wants me to go back and watch some of these shows.
Yes.
Yep.
Especially some of the guys.
Like you're busy with a job and kids and all that stuff. So
yeah, the job stinks. So
it stinks. Before we wrap up, I just want to plug Greg has been doing some awesome work with his Blast from the Past series. If you want to learn about some old White Sox games from previous playoffs, give that a check out. And Vinny's got one coming up for this Sunday. Is it a Bears Packers game, Vinny?
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So
Blast from the Fast football edition.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
If you have any interest in checking out what some former games were from the past, whether it's 10, 15, 20 years ago, check those out. They're only like 10, 12 minutes long.
This one's 6 minutes. I blasted right through.
Oh, man. Vinny,
that's how it's done. I literally a blast from the past.
You made my job so much easier after this tonight when I go to edit it. So thank you. So highly recommend check that out. Also check out Greg did an interview with Coach Jarrett Dial from Hayti High School, all about what it's like to coach a high school baseball team, as well as the importance of multi-sport athletes. And I would definitely agree with that. Mm-hmm. And that's it. I got nothing else. So this will be up Friday morning. The video version might be a little bit later because actually in like 9 hours, I got to drive to the hospital with my wife so we can have our baby. So,
woo! It's happening.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's happening.
You're going to pull the Michael Scott.
So, if the video might get up a little later on that one, just in case, but I'm going to do the audio tonight, just for that reason.
Have you practiced with the watermelon?
Yeah.
Yes.
Make sure you get your marker.
I got the marker. I'm going to mark it with a permanent marker.
Very discreet way.
Sounds
Only
really
you
good when
would
I say
be able
it.
to
Yeah.
identify it.
Justin, Manhattan Boulevard is closed. Adapt.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 80 to 57. And then, yeah, okay, good. All right. On that note, we will see you guys next week. Be sure to tune into those other mini podcasts we got coming up. Thanks for listening. If you want to reach out to us, baseball and whatever at gmail.com, facebook.com/baseball and whatever, and Twitter at baseball and what. Be sure to check out bellyupsports.com and Belly Up Sports Podcast Network for all your fun sports podcasts, as well as ours. On that note, we will see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Take care.